think we're all in tune. So, well, welcome everybody, and welcome to this non-snow day. We're very glad that we actually had school, and we wish we had Monday and Friday, but hey, at least we didn't have it on our concert day. So, yeah, we've been working really hard, and then last Thursday, we stopped working until today. And of course, I turned the clamps on a bit today because it's like we had the 4-day weekend. So they worked really hard today to get the program ready for the day. And I tell you, it was a stressful one. After 4 snow days, it gets a little crazy. And I'm willing to admit, yes, I was highly stressed out all day. You know what was really cool? Did anyone here see the sunset this evening? Anyone? Or am I the only one? It was like this red, bubbly cloud, awesome sunset. And I was getting ready for this, and all of a sudden I was like, okay. Took a deep breath. It's gonna be all right. Snow days aside. And so, and I'm the luckiest person in the world because for any of you that don't know me, I'm John Martella. I teach all of these kids in orchestra, and that's one of the coolest jobs you can have on the planet. So we're gonna start with Ocean Storm with our concert orchestra. And this is a piece by Vivaldi, arranged by Tom Fritz. And he tries to evoke these feelings of waves and wind and crashing sounds. And so this is Ocean Storm, or La Tempest di Mare by Antonio Vivaldi. We'll see. Oh, there. So, if you ever talk in a microphone, it's weird. You don't like your voice. Trust me. So, our next song, Doppler Effect, it has the traditional Doppler effect where you hear things get louder and softer. So in music terms, crescendoing, getting louder, decrescendoing, getting softer. And it has various places where they're going to have a rhythm it's sort of strange. You'll have this feeling of 2 against 3. So, which takes a while to get a hang of. I should use the microphone stand for this. So, if you can do this, you can have one hand keeping the beat, doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The other one's going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And they have to keep track of this by keeping a very careful count of the subdivisions, and you're going to hear them get that kind of feel in this piece called Doppler Effect. So, here we go. always forget one thing. I should have put this in the program, but on this piece, we have a soloist, and that's going to be Rachel Blanton, our concert master for the concert orchestra. So you'll get to hear her play a bit on her own. No pressure, right? So, here we go. Any other folks need help there? We all spare chair. You got a bad chair? So on Saturday, March 3rd, this group is going to the Michigan School Band and Orchestra Association Festival, and they're going to play the 3 songs that you're about to hear. And for those, we always try and pick a balanced program that has something that's a little classical or romantic, like the Mendelssohn piece you're going to hear in a few moments. And we have Riding the Rails that has some special, well, little changes in it. It's a fun one. And let's see, what is our last one? You know that's bad when you can't remember. Oh yeah. I haven't done this piece in a while. The Serenade for Strings by Lydon is a favorite of mine that I just haven't done in a long time. But this is a really cool group for doing that piece. So, because every group has their own personality, really. And so we're going to be performing this for a panel of judges after the intercession, and they're going to give us grades on things like tone, intonation, our rhythm, our interpretation of the music, our technique, things like that. And if the grades average out to be an A or better, then, or a high A, anything down to an A minus, then we'd get a rating of Roman numeral 1, which is the highest rating you can get. And Roman numeral 2 would mean that we've actually edged down into the B range. And you keep going down to Roman numeral 5. We won't explore that, but it's out of the question. So we're going to go, and after we perform these 3 songs, we won't do this for you today, but if you go to the festival on March 3rd, you'll get to see a sight read. And that's always a fun experience because the judges give us, well, not the ones that listen to our performance. We go into a new room, and they hand out some new music that the kids have never seen before. It's not as hard as what they're going to play right now, but they have to take 5 minutes, study the piece, sing it, talk about it, and then perform it. And then we get judged on our performance of the new piece. And so that's part of our overall rating as well. And so it's a really exciting thing. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good experience for the kids. So we're looking forward to that festival experience next month. Well, next month, a couple of weeks away. So, so here's our first song, Riding the Rails, and with Sean Davis on percussion instead of cello. So, and he just became a percussionist. So amazing how quickly we can turn them over. Oh, and I forgot, Ian Sawbill. That was Ian Sawbill playing the train whistle. And in the past, we've used one of those wooden train whistles they're kind of cool. But Ian just uses his hands and makes the train whistle sound. So I can't do it. So pretty impressive. Now our next song, this Mendelssohn piece. It says arranged by Stephen Frost. Stephen Frost didn't do much to this. He took away a few grace notes, but if you look at this, if you listen to this back to back with the original Mendelssohn, you just notice a few flourishes and grace notes. This is really pretty much the way Mendelssohn wrote it. So this is the scherzo movement. And a scherzo is usually a fun movement, like a musical joke, and it's supposed to be light and lively. But it also has this middle section which is very pastoral, like you're out in the Swiss Alps with some sheep and just enjoying a nice summer day. And so the scherzo part, though, it gets pretty wild. And this is part of, well, Mendelssohn's sinfonias that he wrote when he was, I forget, I think he was about 10 when he wrote this. So he wrote all these sinfonias between the ages of 10. He wrote, what, 10 of them, or 10 or 12 of them, and he wrote them in the ages of 10 to 12 or 13. So really about their age, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. So back then, you grew up doing that sort of thing full time, I guess, as a kid. So this is Mendelssohn's Scherzo from Sinfonia 9. here in the last movement, it's not a misprint that you have 1, 3, 2 for the movements. It is actually a 4-movement piece. In the festival, this is our required piece coming up. We have to pick from a list of required pieces for the size school we have. In this particular requirement, we can pick any 2 movements from this Leiden Serenade. And the 3rd movement is a slow movement. And we're going to do this with a prelude, and then the nocturne, and then the fugue at the end. So, it's nice to have the fast, slow, fast instead of ending with a slow part. And Lucas Daunt will have a solo in the 3rd movement, which we're playing second. It's not confusing at all. So, here's Leiden Serenade. Well, I'm afraid that's all we have for you tonight. But you should come on March 3rd. Check out these guys at Festival. You can listen and say, hey, does that sound any different March 3rd than it does, well, after a 4-day weekend? And because really, they're playing this stuff, both groups are doing a superb job, especially given all the snow days and everything. And I'm so proud of both groups for taking the time to practice on their own, because they had to practice on their own in order to play this well. And so I appreciate all the time they put in to make sure that this concert came off just fine. And thank you all too. And cello parents, don't be afraid to send in your cellos. It's always an interesting thing. I get cellos coming in during concert days, and it's like, whoa, the pegs are all unwound, and it's crazy, and how do you practice on this thing? I don't. And so you can send those in, and I'll be happy to, I'll do it once a week, twice a week if you have. I'll do it every day. I'll tune your instruments. So send those on in so that the kids can practice them anytime at home. So I look forward to seeing you all the next concert, but also keep in mind there are a bunch of things going on. Tomorrow night is the band middle school concert, and then we have the festival. There's also going to be a musical in here. They're doing Brigadoon, which is one of my favorite musicals. I don't know how many of you saw that when you were younger like me. I loved it when I was a kid. So, and of course there's Musicathon, and I didn't put that stuff in the program like I usually do, so sorry about that. But thanks again for having your kids in the program, and I look forward to our next concert. Good night, everyone.